For this, we search for a message, latest news, and we got this kind of job. This was the initial message we sent to it, and then we got the output. But even though we sent the message, and then the second message keep on being here. Now, still sure once somewhere when we sent our first message, once we are done reading, we send another one. I want the old one to wipe out from our environment. So we also need to do that. I can see that it extends a little bit too much. So we need to actually set the amount of length or character of word we want. So that's basically what we are going to do. So we'll begin with this of the first one to actually remove this of our old text. To do that, we can try to create a list that is going to be hold this of our info label. It's going to hold this our info label because the output of this info label is be a kind of a iframe kind of output. It's going to hold that. Later we can then try to close the frame because it also all works in kind of a frame format, kind of a frame that is a frame on its own that if we destroy it or if we delete the frame, it no longer exists on our behavior. So that this text appear in form of a frame. So we can, if we are to remove the frame, so this guy will definitely disappear. So let's do that. So the first thing we're going to do is to create a global, we can call it our info labels. It's going to hold all our labels. So it's going to be an empty list. If you don't understand how list works, the link is in description down below. So we can also call it, because we want to make use of it, so we can show our global info labels. So of course we want to make use of it. So the next we are going to do is actually to create the amount of text we want to be displayed on the screen. We don't want all the text to so we want amount of text we want to be displayed in a particular row. So we can set it to at least 14. 14 is okay, particular 14 lines of text. I'm also going to make use of grid. Yeah, we're not going to make use of pack. There's a reason I want us to make use of grid because we can try to change the row and going to extend the row. So since we know we are going to extend the row, definitely we are going to make use of that of our while loop. So our for loop. So the first we are going to do is to we can still create a variable that is going to be our start. We can set it to 0, and then we are going to set what is our we can set it's called a mass length. It's not a must, you must name it our start and mass length. You can name it anything of your choice, but I want this to be set it to mass length. This our start is going to be our initial position of the row is going to be 0, then it's going to be increased, and the mass length is the number of text we want in a particular row, which is going to be 14. So we can create a variable. We can say for s in what in range what we want to start from 0 to learn what info, and then info, and want the step to go in that of the mass length. I explained all these things very well in my previous video when I talked about for range. The link is also be in the description down below. So if you are getting it confused, you can actually check it out. So we're going to move all these guys inside there. And also something, because this of our info of a guy is just going to be a single time or maybe single this in a single test. So we need to actually break it, split them. So what are going to split the spaces between them? I'm going to print out 14 in a particular row. If you are getting it confused, just watch my previous video. It's easy for you to understand. But regarding all this mass length and start, I'm going to explain it more. So we can set our info. Our current info is not going to be our before info. We're going to what split. I'm not going to specify what we are going to split. If we didn't specify, then it's going to split empty spaces, meaning that it's just like saying something like if I say easy kit, and then I put the split here. The split, what's going to happen is going to split it here. So these guys will not be different guys, and this one too will be different. It just split the space between them. So that's just because it's going to do. And the next what we're going to do is to actually set our row, because we want this test to be actually be coming down. So we need it to be 14 text in or 14 word, like Obi is a boy, Obi is a boy, that Obi is a boy. That's actually 4 words, if I'm not mistaken. So easy keys, yeah, that's a combination of 2 words, not characters. So we want it to 14 words to be stored in row what? First is going to be our start, because our start is actually 0. So we want to start from 0, which is actually tend to make sense, 0, and then we want to set our colon to our colon definitely is going to be set to 0 here. Since 14 is going to be here, 14 should also be going down, like 14 this, if the tests are quite long, so 14 the first row, 14 second row, 14. So we're going to increase our start. So our start here is 0. So when our start is now going to be plus or equals to, sorry, plus or equals to 1, meaning that our start is now going to be 1, and here is going to be 1. So I also need to set some other things like that of the sticky guy. So let me say the sticky guy. I'm going to set it to what? Capital letter W. I'm also going to pad it a little bit. Can say our pad X. Why is this guy blocking? I can say our pad S is going to be what? 10, and then our pad Y, I'm going to set it to what? 2. I don't know why this guy is actually blocking me. So with this, we're now actually done with to handle this error, because now this one wants a 14 words to appear here, so it's going to keep on going down. I want to actually remove this um, initial test. So how can we do that? We'll just try to append this variable we created here. This is our info labels. Don't mistake it with this of other info label. This is info labels. The other guy is info labels. So be careful when you're doing this. So I'm going to call our what? Info underscore labels. We want to do what? We want to dot append. Since it's an empty list, so we need to append it our what? Info. We want to append it to this of our info labels on it. So later we can then wipe it out. So before before that, I want to change this of our test, because info is still going to, it's as if we're trying to bring out the entire splitted element, which doesn't even make sense. So we're going to set this our info to actually get only the first 14. So this of our info to actually print out the first 14 characters. So we're going to set our x is going to be x plus our mass length. I'm going to explain what we actually did here. So what is actually happening here? We'll set here, since this our x is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to any length of this of our info. I know our info, we splitted our info. So let's assume here is initially 0, and here is also 0, and there's going to be 0 plus what? 14. This is going to be initial. So it's going to start from all the text that is in this of our info that we splitted here, because when we splitted, it's going to be a list at this point. So we want to list from the 0 to it's going to start from the 0, and it's going to the 0 plus 1. It's going to, like I have to say, from the 0 to that of there's 14. So after that, when we come back to the second one, which is going to be our for loop, what is happening here? Since we set our step to be this of our mass length, and this mass length is now going to jump to the next 14. It's going to, the first 14 that I got is going to jump to the next 14. That is going to start from 15 to that of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's going to go to the from 15 to 22 word, and then that's what basically our x is now going to be. That's if we are saying from 15, it's not going to be, sorry, here it's going to be 15, not going to be 15 plus 14 inside of this